Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Mysteries from Beyond the Other Dominion. I'm your host, Dr. Franklin Ruehl, and now for Zombie Ghouls in Ancient Egypt. Roll tape. Zombies in Ancient Egypt. When we're talking about pre-dynastic Egypt, 5,000 to 5,500 years ago, and there is some evidence that there might have been zombies. Now, I want to stress, we're not talking about zombies created by voodoo or witch doctors or even members of the ancient Egyptian magic schools, but rather by a bacterium or a virus that might have infected the brain and caused the forebrain, the prefrontal lobe, to rot away within just 24 hours, turning these individuals into what we might call zombies, or if you prefer the term ghoul would be appropriate, who would then attack other people, and perhaps because they had this virus or bacteria, would then spread it. Now, there are three sites where there's evidence for this, namely Nakada, Gerza, and Hierakonpolis. At each site they found bodies both buried under the ground and in tombs that were beheaded, yes. And why were these individuals being beheaded? That's a very good question, because the thought is, by anomalists, that they were beheaded because it's the only way to kill them, because they were these zombie ghouls. And at this one place, Hierakonpolis, we have two additional pieces of evidence. First, one deals with a tomb that was found in which there was a badly decomposed body. It was not beheaded, but apparently had been buried alive, possibly because it was a zombie. There were multiple scratch marks on each of the four inner walls of the tomb. So that was one particular piece of unusual evidence. The other pertains to this man right here, Menaced, who actually united Upper and Lower Egypt. You may recall in the past that I suggested he might be a halfling, half human, half Martian, because his head was always covered by this cone-headed headpiece, suggesting he might have been a conehead, the idea that cone-headed Martians established a bivouac in ancient Egypt. But this is totally independent of that. His other name is Narmer, and there is what's called the Narmer palette, and that palette shows headless cadavers. Archaeologists say that this depiction shows him having successfully won a battle in his efforts to unite Upper and Lower Egypt. He's there in the center, over here, let me see, right there. And then in the center we have the soldiers, and on this side right here, we have what appear to be 10 headless cadavers. And the idea is, by archaeologists, that those were actually enemy soldiers who were beheaded. But it was not the practice of ancient Egyptians to behead enemy soldiers. So the other idea is that these headless corpses in pink down here at the bottom were actually zombies, and that this was actually a victory by Menace or Narmer over a zombie attack. Can't prove it, but intriguing, because beheaded soldiers wouldn't have been found unless they had some special affliction, such as this zombie or ghoul infection. Again, we can't prove it, but a very intriguing hypothesis regarding ancient Egypt for your consideration. Zombies, 5,000 years ago. Now, until next time, may the power of the cosmos be with you. Yes, yes, yes.